So in case you've been under a rock, Marathon, it's getting a gameplay reveal on the 12th, which I believe is Saturday. And they've been building up hype and anticipation with the community. They've been doing all sorts of coded messages, tweets and stuff that are just very, very mysterious. Very mysterious, which is of course always fun. You can see, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff that they're posting. This was apparently a collection of a bunch of these little squares that were released independently, and then the community came together and like stitched them together to get a picture of this playable character and stuff. So the community's been wild solving these things. Yeah, like I wouldn't even know where to begin. This is something they posted and like I have no idea where to even start. But the community has been working on it and has solved a lot of it. And Jake the All Right did a little video breaking down how some of this stuff was solved, how it worked. We're not going to watch the whole thing because I don't want to step on his video's toes or anything. But I do recommend that you guys head over there and check out the video. I will also be sharing the link in all of the chats and everything, so everybody has a chance to get over there and support it. But I just want to give you like a little snippet, a taste of how this worked, because it's crazy. We have the video pulled up. I have the audio turned on. You know what time it is? Time to play the game. Let's do it.
All right, guys, the new Marathon ARG is here, and I'm sure you're aware of it, and I'm also sure that you are overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information that we are getting. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of messages, tens of thousands of hours of video and live streams looking at it. There's a lot to get through, but I say we just take a step back and calmly go through what we have so far and understand that even as I'm saying these words to you guys, it'll be a little bit out of date. Some new stuff will have popped up, and by the time you're hearing
constantly,
there'll be even more new stuff. But we will get to that as well, all in good time. Let's just take a calm little stroll through what has occurred so far in the new Marathon ARG. And let's start with Rilo. Awesome YouTube creator Rilo shared a photo on X of a framed piece of what appears to be concept art that he got from Bungie. It's signed by Joe Ziegler and Joseph Cross. It features 3...
Oh. Almost forgot. Ooh. Ooh. Like, I think it's a shirt, maybe a ball, and escape will make me God, it says. There's that. Yeah, let's see. There's gonna be push. Okay. Okay, and then this poor guy who has been vacuum sealed. Hold on. It's one of the little like silkworm dudes. How cute is that? So yes, this is like a steel card that just says escape with me. And then there's a code on the back of it. I don't know. I can't get the sticky part off yet, but there's like a series of symbols. Focus, damn you. Move it in front of my face. You see that? There's like symbols on it. I don't know what that means. But there you go. So very nice of them. They sent this stuff out. That was cool. They're also sending, my understanding is that, piece of concept art. Yes, this is something they told us that would be arriving, which is kind of cool. A little piece of concept art signed, which is a nice touch.
That he got from Bungie. It's signed by Joe Ziegler and Joseph Cross. It features 3 runners, the 2 in the back being Thief and Stealth, who we saw from the concept art back in October when Joe Ziegler did the developer update. And this new front runner, I guess maybe that's a little bit of a pun there, is a new runner that we have not seen before, featuring a very sick helmet as he peers over his shoulder. Shortly after Rilo would make this post, the official Marathon X account would post a video that seems to have these like kind of abstract blocky shapes with a dithering effect in the background, and it also featured some symbols that might be familiar if you saw the Destiny 2 Marathon themed emblem that was leaked a few weeks ago. At the same time they posted this, the YouTube, X, Twitch, Facebook, and even the PlayStation X account would change their cover or banner photos to have a similar kind of style to this video, with these big blocks of green, the black background, the emblems, and the dithering effect.
Mysterious.
These images all featured the same series of characters inside brackets somewhere in the image, something that we'd have to come back to later to decrypt. Mida's X account would become active as well with the username we_r_Mida, and they would post a bunch of cute little Mida sayings and poetry alongside images that, when combined, would make a Mida symbol. And we would...
Real quick, explain it to me like I'm 4. What is Mida? What even is that? What is Mida? Malaysian Investment and Development Authority? I don't think that's right. Website, an Israeli current affairs and online magazine. I don't know what that is. What is Mida? Money? I don't know. Whatever that is. It's some sort of code.
We'd also learn around this time that Mida has an official YouTube account as well. All of this new noise that Bungie was making online prompted people to go back and check the faction websites from the ARG back in 2023, and oh boy, we found something. They were all back live again. We'll start with Mida's website, herearesilence.com. Now, instead of featuring a new zine, it was just a white screen that featured a link.
Dude, that's sketchy
When we
as
went
hell.
to this new link, we were
This feels like a website that like a serial killer would have, you know, where they post their manifesto or something. You load into it and it's just that. That's horrifying.
were prompted to sign into Twitch, and it featured a Twitch overlay that was slowly revealing symbols. At the bottom was a counter on the left side, and then a bar that said weak, medium, high. This was a Twitch overlay that Twitch streamers would have to sign into, and then dependent upon how many viewers were watching them while they were utilizing this Twitch overlay, the symbols on the page would decode faster, which would hopefully allow us to gather some new information.
Dude, that's low-key brilliant though. Like, it's a Twitch overlay that reads how many viewers you have, and based on the number of viewers you have, it will decrypt. So the more eyes in front of it, the faster it decrypts. So it encourages more people to stream it. That's cool. That's pretty freaking cool. Ravi says Mida was a revolutionary government that came to power on Mars in an assumed alternate timeline, and the creator of the weapons Mida multi-tool and Mida mini-tool. Oh, okay. In the universe of Marathon. Okay. I thought they were saying that Mida was like, you know, Morse code or like a different type of coding system, like a Caesar cipher or something. I thought they were saying it was a type of code, but no, it's like specifically messaging from this fictitious group. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Ravi.
While these symbols were being decoded, people went back to the original Mida page, and they found this kind of creepy face in the background of the page itself.
To me, it seems more spoopy, but I'll allow creepy.
And also they saw that the tab section of the website was scrolling a very long Mida poem. Within that poem, there was a section that read R-A-G-E, or R plus A plus G plus E. People took this information over to the UESC website, which was back in full force. Now, if you reloaded the page on the UESC website, and while the page was loading, you held down the R, A, G, and E keys, you would enter into a new terminal.
Dude, how do you even figure that out? Is it, maybe it's like the F12 thing, you pull it up, you can see the code, and then you figure out, oh, it's waiting for inputs. Maybe we hold down the letters that we saw. Maybe that's how they did it. Or it says like, oh, if it actually popped up and it was like, you know, enter the commands into the terminal. Okay, maybe. Either way, that's very cool. That's very cool.
This terminal would feature a ton of directories with information on weapons, names of characters, and even more cool little goodies hidden.
Dude, it's artwork of like the guns, Bully SMG, and then they made it in this format. That's so cool. Dude, isn't this like so refreshing when you compare it to like how they unveiled Concord, for example, where they show like this really expensive cinematic trailer that has nothing to do with the game, and then they do a little gameplay trailer and they're like, money please. Like, this is crazy. I'm eating this up. I love it because it also shows that the devs are like excited and passionate about it. They put a lot of effort into this. It's one of those things. If they didn't do this, nobody would know what they were missing, and it would just be like, oh, well, let's see what the game looks like. But instead, they're doing this thing to like build the community up before the game's even seen like a gameplay reveal. It's really, really cool.
It also featured an area where we could decrypt the symbols, but we would need a key.
They're doing this instead of working on the game. Dude, that would actually be funny if that's what was happening. Yeah. I'm guessing, I don't know who's doing this, like if this is an outside team they hired or if this is like their marketing team. I have no idea, but whoever's doing this, it's impressive.
To do so. Eventually, the Mida Twitch overlay would be decoded, and all of the symbols would be revealed. And then the official Marathon account would post a security alert. An unauthorized transmission manipulation was detected, and the UESC had taken down the Twitch overlay. But that was not where things ended, as we uncovered a secret hidden directory inside the root of the Rage terminal on the UESC website called Farsight 7. Inside of the Farsight 7 directory, there was a file called sound.bin, and when you executed it, it revealed a super cool screen where as you moved your mouse around, it would reveal new images and sounds. These were clips from the original trailer and cryptic messages and songs and all sorts of very cool stuff. And while the
Dude, this is insane. Like, this is crazy. Where do you even start on something like this? You go to your boss, hey, I have an idea for something we can do before we reveal the game. Okay, what is it? Hear me out. Psychosis. That's basically what this is. It's amazing.
This section is probably the most visually stimulating thing that we've gotten from the terminal so far. I do think that my favorite thing I've seen was the ASCII art of the weapons that are going to be in the game that were hidden inside of this terminal. Now, there are some more advancements in the UESC terminal, but for a moment, let's shift gears and go over to the Traxxas site, which is also back, and it featured that super cool spinning wheel of Traxxas stuff again. And also in the bottom left, we had new chat logs, but this time it doesn't seem to be between the board of directors. Rather, these seem to be Traxxas employees who are talking about a logistics disruption and a server outage tied to some sort of cyber acme issue all in the same day. The shipment that was disrupted is said to be Sekiguchi Jin cargo, assumedly meaning Biomata, and the cyber security threat was a cyber acme system down issue where someone may have intruded Traxxas servers at the same time. The Traxxas website also featured 2 clickable items in the ring. One was listed as the CB-3463 drill, and the other was listed as TrackSat Management Console. When we click through to the CB-3463 drill, we would find a PDF, a user manual, an instruction manual for something called the Cave Crawler V2.
Dude, they made user manuals for fictional tools used for mining. Like, what? This is crazy. So, like I said, there's so much here. There's way more than you probably realize. And actually, funnily enough, Jake the All Right, just 4 minutes previously from when I clicked on this initially, 4 minutes before, posted the part 2 of this. So there's a lot. There's a lot. And I don't want to go through the whole thing. I think you should go over to his channel and watch it if you are interested. I'll put the links in chat now. But truly, like, the amount of effort and crazy stuff that they've done here is absolutely crazy. And again, I just think it's so cool to see this level of effort put into something. Whether the game is good or not is independent of this, to be very fair. A game can have crazy cool stuff like this and still suck. It's very possible. It can also be a masterpiece. You know, it can go either which way, but to at least see this level of effort is refreshing for me personally, because so many of these types of games just, I don't know, I think they phone it in, and they're like, the game was already so expensive. Let's just focus on the fundamentals, let's just do that. And so to see this is cool. It's pretty damn cool. It gets you excited. It's really fun being in the community. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. And it's the sense of discovery, and you're looking at every little bitty detail and you're trying to piece things together. I think that that's awesome. And you can tell that like the devs are excited by it. I think the community generally is really excited by it. And that's what you want. I mean, when you're trying to launch a live service game in 2025, you can't afford any slip ups, and you need to have, I mean, in some ways it feels like you have to have a community built before it even starts. Like before your game even is announced and revealed, you have to basically have the community built out so you have somewhere to start from. And the problem for a lot of games is, of course, they don't have the community yet because they haven't even gotten there. Like that, it's too early. But with this, like the one thing Bungie is really, really good at is building that community, retaining it and fostering it, and then also doing cool things like this to excite them and get them interested and make them sit up and pay attention to every little bitty cryptic thing that they're doing. So it's really cool. Bungie have so much pressure. That I think is part of the reason why it's good they're doing this, because they are not taking anything for granted, it seems. Bungie was bought for about $3.7 billion, and they were bought primarily on the promise of increased revenues through Destiny and this Marathon project, and then another spin-off project that has since been canceled. So it's pretty much all come down to Marathon, because Destiny 2 has not really made much money at all. It might have honestly just lost money at this point. It seems like they keep saying they missed revenue targets last year, or last fiscal year, I believe it was. They missed financial targets by 50%, meaning if they expected to make $100, they made 50. I mean, it significantly underperformed. So, Sony's not thrilled about that. And it pretty much all lands at Marathon's feet. Like Marathon needs to not just be good, but it needs to justify the $3.7 billion purchase of that company. It's a lot of pressure. Not many games are worth $3 billion. Like all of Assassin's Creed as a franchise is probably worth about $3 billion. That's how big this has to be. So, and even if it's not like just that big in a vacuum, it still needs to generate money. It needs to find success. So all eyes are on it. And, I think so far it seems they are doing everything right. It seems like they're not taking this lightly. They're putting a lot of effort in. And, soon-ish I'll be able to talk about my thoughts having played it at the studio. And on Saturday the 12th, they're doing the gameplay reveal, so check it out there, but we'll be keeping an eye on it for sure. He took my thing.